And welcome. Our top focus at this hour. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has begun the second leg of his three-nation tour today. Modi, who is in Papua New Guinea, held bilateral talks with Prime Minister James Marape today. The Indian Prime Minister arrived in the country on Sunday after attending the G7 summit in Hiroshima, Japan. This is the first time an Indian Prime Minister is visiting Papua New Guinea. India is actively seeking to counter Beijing's influence in the Indo Pacific. Prime Minister Narendra Modi landed in the nation's capital, Port Moresby, on Sunday night. Modi was met by a gun salute, traditional dancers. Papua New Guinea's Prime Minister even extended his hand to touch Prime Minister Narendra Modi's feet. In Indian tradition, the gesture is meant to show respect to elders and receiving their blessings. As per reports, China has been pouring money into countries in the Pacific. This has alarmed New Delhi and its allies in the Quad. New Delhi is increasing its engagement with Pacific Islands. This is due to their strategic location and fears that China could dominate the region. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the third summit of the Forum for Indo Pacific Islands Cooperation, or FIPIC, which is currently underway. Post the summit, bilateral talks have been scheduled between the participating countries.
Global South. You have emerged as the leader of the Global South, and I want to thank you for ushering.
आपकी तरह हम मल्टीलेटरलिज्म में विश्वास रखते हैं, फ्री, ओपन और इंक्लूसिव इंडो पैसिफिक का समर्थन करते हैं। सभी देशों की संप्रभुता और अखंडता को सम्मान करते हैं। ग्लोबल साउथ की आवाज भी यूएन सुरक्षा परिषद में बुलंदी से उठनी चाहिए। इसके लिए अंतर्राष्ट्रीय संस्थाओं का सुधार हमारी साझा प्राथमिकता होनी चाहिए।
After the summit, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi will interact with scholars from the Indian Technical and Economic Cooperation Program before departing for Sydney, where he is scheduled to spend the next 2 days. And we are now being joined by correspondent Devianti Farids, live from APEC House, Papua New Guinea. Hi, Devianti. President Biden had to cancel his visit to Papua New Guinea. Now, Indian Prime Minister Modi's visit to the country is being seen as a major Quad outreach effort in the Indo Pacific. How are nations in the Pacific viewing this trip?
Pacific Island country leaders are very enthusiastic with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to the region. I mean, he initiated the FIPIC, or Forum for India and Pacific Island Cooperation, back in 2015 in Fiji. So it's been a bit slow to get, off the ground at first, but it's been picking up quite fast recently. And this is a very positive step for India. Now, it's the first visit by an Indian Prime Minister to Papua New Guinea, where the FIPIC summit is being held. Now, Papua New Guinea is especially significant to India as it's had long withstanding trade ties with India. And Papua New Guinea is home to a small community of 3,000 Indians here in Port Moresby. So analysts say Pacific Island countries, hope to partner with India on clean energy, agriculture, technology, and Papua New Guinea specifically will sign a pact with India on SME development, agreements between state broadcasters, and reciprocal agreements for visa on arrivals. The Papua New Guinea Prime Minister James Marape earlier had encouraged the Prime Minister Modi to be the voice of the emerging and developing countries here in the region at big forums such as G7 or G20, and also the upcoming Quad Leaders Summit in Australia. Eric?
Devianti, what's the significance of these Pacific islands in the Indo Pacific region, and what has been their relationship with China?
Well, the Pacific Island countries, occupy a vast territory. It occupies about a third of Earth's oceans and is a major area where trade ships pass. They play an important role as well in securing maritime security. Now, both the U.S. and China the global superpowers are currently vying for influence in the region. Now, China approached Pacific Island countries with its Belt and Road initiatives. Last year, China has signed with the Solomon Islands a security agreement that last year, actually in March, and also had won a contract to develop its capital seaport in Honiara. So the U.S., Australia, and China, they're all vying for influence in this very vast region of the South Pacific.
Well, I've been talking to correspondent Devianti Farids live from FIPIC House, Papua New Guinea. Devianti, thank you very much for talking to us today. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.